Giving all glory and honor and praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakar Kadash. Double honor to the elder apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teaching us 100% truth. Shalom and salutations to the hopeful elect, beginning with the 144,000 and the rest of the men, women, and children of the great multitude of the elect. I'm your brother Magun Shalamar out of the GMS Philadelphia Plain Tables Camp. The title of this video will be Ask GMS and we will give you the truth. This quick video is Pierce Morgan asking Daniela Wise a question about who is most important, the Ish people or other people on this earth, and she refused to answer. So we're gonna let this video play. It's fair use, not for monetary gain, but for educational purpose only.
Says on camera to the BBC that one Jewish life is worth 10 million Palestinian lives.
You're saying one Jewish life is worth hundreds or thousands of Palestinian lives?
Not million. One Jewish life, it's 10 million, okay?
That just sounds racist.
Yes, I know.
Would you say that a Jewish life is worth exactly the same as a Palestinian life? That one life is worth the same as another?
Why do you bring me into this channel of comparing one to the other?
But just to be clear, somebody else that follows your religion, Yehuda Shimon, who's a lawyer with a big organization that represents Israelis arrested for violence against Palestinians, he is the one that said a Jewish life is worth 10 million Palestinian lives. Am I right in concluding that you believe a Jewish life is worth the same as a Palestinian life, and a Palestinian life is worth the same as a Jewish life? Do you agree with that statement?
What is the point of this comparison?
Let me help you understand. Let me help you understand, because you're clearly struggling with this. I think my life is worth the same as your life, and your life is worth the same as mine. I'm a Catholic, an Irish Catholic.
Right.
You are an Israeli Jew. All right? I think we're both worth exactly the same. I've asked you twice, and I'll only ask you one more time, but would you agree that a Jewish life is worth the same as a Palestinian life? Yes or no?
I know that you like yes or no question answers.
Yeah.
Sorry, yes or no question.
It's a very simple
answer.
question. I'm just struggling to understand why you can't just say a Jewish life is worth the same as a Palestinian life. Would you agree with that?
Why you're asking me this question? It's on the basis
Well, you know
of
why.
some clash.
I just told you why.
So,
Daniela Weiss, I told you why. Because a senior Israeli lawyer says that a Jewish life is worth 10 million Palestinian lives. I told you why.
I
don't understand why you can't.
I do not
you
use.
keep talking about gender and everything else. I'm like, look, it's a very simple question.
The scripture says in 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 12, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to assert authority over the man, but to be in silence. So she has no business up on the platform asserting herself, trying to defend whatever she believes in. It should be up to the man to go to war. That's why the men of the Lord at Great Millstone, you don't see women at our camp, because when we out there, we at war. Anything can happen. Anything can break off. Violence can break off at any time. So when we go out there, it's not for the women to sit up there and speak. It's for the men of the Lord, because the Lord is only dealing. Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai is only dealing with the men of Israel. But this is Revelation chapter 2, and we're going to go right into it. Here's the answer to Morgan Pearson question. This is Revelation chapter 2, verses 9. It says, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, for thou art rich. And that's talking about the Israelites, the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American Indian. Being an Israelite, being in this truth, we are poor. We're going through tribulation, but we're rich in spirit, because we know that our salvation is coming from Yahweh Shai Mashiach, and he's bringing down Babylon the Great into a war that's going to be the end of Esau's rulership here on earth. So we're rich That's why we call ourselves the hopeful elect, Lord willing, we are the men. It says, and I know that the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. And today that's speaking of Esau, Edom. The Amalekites are the ones who calling themselves the Jews, but they are not. So let's get another scripture. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 6. We'll start at verse 54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. So out of Adam came all the people, but it also came the people that he chosen, which are the Israelites, so-called Negro, Latino, Native American Indians. 55. All this have I spoken before thee, O Yahweh, because thou madest the world for our sakes. And our sake, meaning this whole world was created for the Israelites. We was given the most promising, best land on this earth, which the small hats are over there now, that Levant region. And it's a big region that the Lord is going to come back and reclaim. Once he destroy that land over there with fire, once he destroy Babylon the Great, spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah, spiritually the ancient Roman Empire, and Esau's kingdom is put down, our place, our home, Jerusalem, is going to be built back up. It's going to be made beautiful again. And those people over there is going to be out of there. They're going into captivity. It says 55, all this I have spoken before thee, O Yahweh, because thou madest the world for our sake. As for the other people, the other nations, including Pearson and that woman, all these other 17 nations on this earth, it says, which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing but like unto spittle, and hast likened the abundance of them unto a drop that's fallen from a vessel. So you see, the other nation means nothing to the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. His only people he's found near to him is the Israelites, the ones that's on the bottom today. And we're scattered. We're scattered amongst the other nations. So not all heathens are heathens. That we got Israelites that's scattered among them that looks like the other nations, but they're actually Israelites. When Yahweh Shah returns, he's going to take his elect, and that's going to be the great multitude. Isaiah 40 and 17, all nations before him are as nothing, and they are counted to him less than nothing, and vanity. Let's go in that word vanity. They are nothing and they're vanity. And that word is dawa. Okay? Dahawa. And it says formlessness, confusion, unreality, emptiness, okay, nothingness, empty space, that which is empty or unreal, wasteland, wilderness, a place of chaos. You see? Up here under the Strong's definition, it says vain, confusion, without form, wilderness, not, nothing, empty place, or waste. The other nations to Yahweh is just a waste, man. So let's go into who Amalek really is, because Amalek is the chief tribe of Esau, the so-called small hats. You see, they're actually Amalek. They're the Amalekites, but they don't want you to know who they are. But Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah and his angels know exactly who they are. Starting with the top banking families, the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, the Murdochs, DuPonts, Oppenheimers. You see, these top banking families, the ones that's going to bring in that New World Order, which is their digital currency, which is going to lead to the micro C hip, they're the ones who are they're the ones who behind all of that. You know, they want to make this whole entire earth as slaves, except for the elect ain't going to get that. It's not going to take that C hip. This is Exodus chapter 17, verse 14. It says, "And Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shah, said unto Moses, Write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, for I will utterly put out a remembrance of Amalek from under heaven." Amalek is still here. They're the small hats. You see? They're still here today. That hasn't happened yet. They're still here being the wickedest on this earth. And Moses built an altar and called the name Yahweh Nasi. It says Jehovah Nisi. Let's get the Hebrew word. It's Yahweh Nasiah. Yahweh Nasiah, which means Yahweh is my banner. He's our protector. See? He's Israel's protector. And that's speaking of a people. Again, we're the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American Indian. And majority of the salvation is going to come here in America, because that's where the majority of the elect are. This is Genesis chapter 36 and verse 9. It says, "And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites in Mount Seir." See? These are the names of Esau. These are the names of Esau's son. Let's go up. It says, "Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir." Esau is Edom. That's verse 8. See that? So Esau is that's where he dwelt, in Mount Seir. And Esau is Edom. And let's find out what's going to happen to them. This is Obadiah 1:18. "And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for a stubble. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh Ba'ashem Ha'ashah has spoken it." You see that? So that's the end of the Edomites, including the Amalek, the number one chief tribe. So once that 1,000 years are up, then this is what's going to happen. They're going to be all rounded up, and it's going to be kindled in a fire, and there'll be none remaining in the house of Esau. Yahweh has spoken. So with that, I pray you edified, call halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Kadash. Again, double honor to the apostles of the great millstone who rule well. Shalom.